Hi, this is Jane Carlstrom, and I'm the fiber fiddler at a Tranquil Nook. I like to make things, and I also like to help other people make things. And so I offer some pre-cut kits and patterns. The pattern I'm talking about today is how to make a sunflower, and it's got a few pieces. What I wanted to do online with the video was offer some ways to embellish and make your sunflower absolutely your own and do it up in the way that's unique and special to you. I've already done the center of this particular one with French knots in the center of the sunflower, and I'm going to show you how I achieved that effect. First, I took some crewel wool yarn, and this is actually from a skein of vintage wool floss, and that works real well if you can find it in thrift stores or other places, or just have it in your stash from sitting around. And you can also find new yarns. You can start with a knot in the end, or you can do a hidden knot by just keeping things together. You can do just the center, or you can do like I've done here and sew through the rough and the center. It gives it a little more stability, and so that's what I'm going to do with this one. I'll start with the in the center of the flower. Just pull it through, and it doesn't come through to the top yet. I've just secured the knot in the base. I bring it up through the center. You can actually measure it or just eyeball it. I tend to just do the eyeball. Bring it through, and to make a French knot, you will want to wind the thread around the needle 3 times. Go close to where the thread came up. Go back down, hold your thumb on the yarn, and pull it through. And you just pull it through. It's usually best if you pull the thread and not just pull from the needle. You're going to get a nicer, easier knot if you do that. I start in the center, and then I work in circles around that. You can do it that way, or you can do it randomly. Whatever works for you is the best thing. 3 times around, needle goes close to where the thread came up. You kind of wiggle it a little bit to get it to come through. If it tends to knot up, just pull it out into a nice loop, and then it's easy to pull through without making a big mess for you. Move on over. I usually put 4 or 5 knots in the first circle around center. And you just keep going in that manner. And I'm wiggling that needle because I have the knot fairly tight. If I make those wraps real loose, you tend to get a real loopy knot. So I make it tight, and then wiggle it a little to kind of shimmy it through. And you'll work on that until you have as many knots as you want in that center. The back will look something like this. I've actually I use 2 different sets of thread. I tend to use 18 to 24 inches at a time. rather than trying to make it really long. If you use a long enough strand to cover everything, you have a lot more problem with knotting, so I prefer to rethread the needle and work with a shorter length. That will be the centerpiece with the ruff on it, ready to secure to the larger base flower.